Well, I hope everyone had a very happy Halloween and welcome to Music Scene Investigation. Getting rid of the echo for our panelists. I know they hate that. I do too, but I'm used to it now. So it doesn't bother me as much as it probably does everybody else. Music Scene Investigation is where you're tuned in. My name is Rich Wildman. Glad to have you here with us today. It's going to be another very good show. We got 3 new songs to put in front of our panelists for them to take a listen to. These songs have been randomly selected from all of those that have been submitted to the Music Scene Investigation website at musicsceneinvestigation.com. And we take 3 every week for our panelists to listen to, and they have no idea what they're going to hear. They don't know the name of the song, the genre of the song, or the name of the artist before they hear them. They will find out after they review the songs, and at the same time everybody else does, except for me because I had to listen to them yesterday. It's kind of the way it goes. Anyway, we're certainly hoping that you enjoy the broadcast today as we get ready to wind down the year. Halloween just passed, as I mentioned. Thanksgiving coming up. Of course, a reminder that during the month of December, we will be taking a hiatus as I go through and rebuild the studio. It's kind of a yearly thing I do. I don't know why I do it. It's kind of like a hoarding thing, OCD.
It's your excuse to have some time off.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
I don't think you even rebuilt the studio. To be honest, I just think that you say you do. So we have to have the month of December off.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. I
You,
save
I
up.
think you move your pen holder on your desk.
How'd you know?
There you go.
Anyway, Ian Husbands, how are you, Ian? Things going all right with you over in merry old England?
Good. I've come to a conclusion. I know why top hats went out of fashion.
Why?
Because you can't wear headphones with them. You really can't.
They
That's better.
see the way you had your shoulders scrunched up there. I think they kind of give people back problems too. But
Only when trying to keep your headphones on, it was like But that's the reason why top hats went out of fashion because you can't wear headphones with them.
that makes perfect sense. Other than that, I know that you've been out and about causing all sorts of havoc. You had a Halloween kind of thing going on over the last 2 or 3 days. I've seen pictures. If you want to see the pictures, everybody, go and follow Ian Husbands on Twitter. He's got them all posted to his timeline there. You can actually see Ian as a steampunk ringmaster.
Oh yes, that was my costume for the night with the top hat, obviously.
And no headphones.
No headphones, no.
That's good for you.
Well, I did have to sing whilst dressed up like this, and that was entertaining. First time I've ever sung with a top hat on.
It's actually some very good pictures of you that way.
Really, well, actually, there's one really good picture by Peter Dorrington, who's the photographer that comes down the jam night sometimes, and thankful shout out to him for taking that. It really is nice. We're going to get that printed and put on my wall because it's my ego needs massaging.
At least, I don't even want to say anything to that. But I do want to thank you for being here as always. Now,
I'd like to also, just before you move on, we've got to do some witness statement results.
That's what I was just going to say.
Give a shout out to my mate Andy, who bought me a ticket to see Blackstone Cherry yesterday. He bought the ticket for my birthday back in May, and we went down to Wembley last night and saw Blackstone Cherry. If you ever get a chance to go and see them, absolutely amazing band. My only problem was they'd done one song called Things My Father Said, and he didn't sing a word. I didn't pay for a ticket to watch the audience sing. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Well, noted.
I wanted to see him do it.
Noted. All right. If you're in a band out there and you invite Ian to come see you, make sure you sing. Take a note of that for later reference. All right.
Now, that's only fair. You're paying to see the artist do it, not the audience. You know.
Yeah, the audience can't hold a tune in a bucket anyway. We all know this.
And I'm actually going to write a blog on the MSI website this week regarding how sanitized gigs have become. As you're not allowed to smoke in the venue anymore. You're not allowed to stage dive. You're not allowed to crowd surf. You're not allowed to mosh. You're not allowed to take drinks in glass cups. You know, all this stuff has changed.
It doesn't stop anybody.
Oh, it does.
Not here in the States. Here in this, we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this with our panelist who is in Vegas. And when Andrea comes on, I introduce her. We'll talk about this some more, and I think she'll agree with me. Every concert I've been, it's never stopped anybody. But anyway, go ahead with the witness statements, if you would, Ian.
Well, pretty much everyone agreed with us, but there was a bit of up and downing in the votes. I mean, song one, which was Designer Children by Franz Arp, which was our song of the week, did get the majority of the votes for songwriting, performance, and mixing production. But song two and three were getting votes as well, so it didn't win outright.
All right, so Franz Arp got the majority of the votes, with Of Clocks and Clouds and Simple Chain running neck and neck for second, and y'all came out on top anyway.
We did, but it wasn't a shoe-in for him. You know what I mean? People liked the other music as well.
No, that's good. I'm glad everybody liked the music all around.
Indeed.
It's always good to hear. All right, Ian, thank you. Andrea Benz-Miller's in Las Vegas. She is our next panelist from the U.S., incidentally. Hey, Andrea, how are you?
I'm good, Rich. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. It's great to have you on with us, and mosh pitting, taking drinks into concerts, all that good stuff. It doesn't, regulations and crap like that never stops anybody, does it?
I don't know. In Vegas, things are a little more controlled than they used to be. There are definitely more rules, and there's definitely certain places, kind of, the whole smoking thing, and you can't take drinks in. Usually that's a monetary thing. Like they want to make sure that you spend your money where you're supposed to. But, it's hard. It's kind of hard to tell. It totally depends on the place.
Yeah. And, no, go ahead.
The mosh part, I'm not sure. I mean, that I'd have to go and ask, the guys who go to those kinds of shows. But, here and there you do hear, there's the one thing that came up, I think it was last year, when Motley Crue had a residency at one of the casino concert venues here. For a while, they were kind of spraying the room with this, I don't know whether it was like fake blood or, some kind of liquid. And the casino told them they couldn't do that anymore because they didn't want to have to clean up the room every night. So I know that even for them, there are some bigger rules than there used to be.
Now, you would think that a band that goes around spraying crap all over the auditorium would clean up their own mess.
Well, you'd think, but, it's rock and roll.
I guess. I guess. So how are things in Vegas? Everything still going well in Vegas? I assume you're still in the late summer aspect of the year and not having dropped off into fall yet?
It's finally this week starting to feel a little like fall.
What, 80?
No, it's more like, I don't know, it's in the 70s, but there's a little breeze here and it feels, kind of like everything's cooling down. Halloween actually felt a little like Halloween. It was a little bit chilly.
Our Halloween was 32 degrees.
Well, yes, of course. I mean, there's nothing quite as frigid as the East Coast. I don't miss my years there at all.
I'm just glad that you had 70s. You were breaking out the jackets and stuff like that, shivering. We here in Corn Country, 32 degrees. We got light jackets. We're going out dressed as ghost goblins and all that crap as well. No galoshes, no snow, thank goodness. I know up north in Chicago they had snow. You guys hardly ever get snow out there, do you?
It's a fluke when it happens. It happened a couple of years ago. It does, I guess every 20 years it happens here, but I wouldn't call it snow. I'd call it like, some, I don't know, frozen condensation. It's not exactly snow, but I don't know. I don't miss the cold at all. It gets chilly enough here that you feel that it's a little like fall, but there's none of that freezing. I remember Boston. Boy, I used to have like 4 layers on in Boston.
Yeah. There's no doubt. Well, anyway, I'm glad you're nice and warm there in Vegas.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, if you can't beat them, join them. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I'm moving to Vegas. I'm going to live in her garage. It's all going to be very cool.
Yeah, you got to come, Rich. You got to come.
Last time I was in Vegas was...
You'll thaw out,
I think it was 1995. No, 2000. It was sometime in the 90s when I was in Vegas last.
And before you take this story too far, Richard, remember what happened in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what happened in Vegas. I'm just going to say the last time I was there was a long time ago. You can read about it in the papers. Go to your local library, dig up the archives. It's all very cool. Our guest panelist today is none other than the man himself, who actually won my heart when he said Fairlight. That's true. It's Mr. Rob Puricelli here with us. Hey, Rob, how are you, sir? Everything going well with you?
Yes, thank you. Very well indeed. And thank you for having me.
Oh, we're glad.
Again.
We're glad to have you. Anytime we can get you on, obviously, we're glad. And, I got to apologize for every video feed that you see here except for mine. Mine should be the one that looks like garbage because I'm so ugly, but everybody else, unfortunately, Skype is just not playing fair with us today. But Rob, it's great to have you back with us. I know that you've been working. You just went through Halloween yourself over there in the UK. How did that go for you? I'll talk about that before we get into the Fairlight and all that stuff.
Sure. Halloween, I don't like, I'm not a big fan. But I have 2 young children, so I kind of have to force myself. But it's been unseasonably warm here in the UK, and Ian will attest to this. On Halloween itself, it was 20 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what that is in your fake
it's like 85.
Temperature gauge system. Yeah, it was that. And we were walking around in just like t-shirts. It was great. So it was good, and the kids loved it. And then we had lots of fun, and we've just had because obviously we celebrate Bonfire Night a few days later on the 5th of November. So we've just had our local village firework display, which commemorates when Guy Fawkes failed to blow up Parliament. Never quite get that one. So I've been.
Yeah, in all fairness, he failed because it was a religious thing against a political thing. Let's not even go there.
Yeah, quite. But my eyes, it's good. It's probably good that the Skype isn't working that well because I've kind of got smoke eye. I've been surrounded by lots of smoky stuff, of the wood burning variety of nothing else. And so I'm a little bit smoky and red-eyed, but good to go.
Well, we're glad you're here with us. Now, I do want to talk about the Fairlight for a bit because I know that we've had you on the broadcast and you've had various, I think actually this is the same, is it not, Fairlight you had the first time we had you on, sitting behind you right now. Is that correct or not?
Yeah. This is what we affectionately known as the Stanley CMI because of its previous owner, Ian Stanley, of Tears for Fears fame. And it's been sat here for a very long time. It's been over a year now, but we knew this was going to be a slow restoration process because the guy that I'm doing this with, who is the Fairlight genius, is based in Surrey Hills, just outside of Sydney in Australia. So to get all the parts across takes a while, but we're getting there, and we were getting very close, and we thought that a few weeks ago we would get to the point where we would almost be ready to put this up for sale. But we encountered some other issues in terms of the cooling system, because these are early computers and there's a lot of stuff in there that gets very hot very quickly. And so therefore there are lots of fans, and there are 6 just on the underside, and then there's power supply fans, and there's fans on the rear as well. And the 6 on the underside of the mainframe are probably the most important because they keep all the card cages cool, and they house all the computing cards and the sampling, digital processing and stuff like that. And we discovered that of the 6 fans that sit in the base whose sole purpose is to cool those cards, of those 6, only 1 was functional. which is why it was crashing all the time. So we've managed to source some super quiet replacements, which fans are pretty much of a muchness. You can still get the same size, but of course technology has come on quite a bit now, so they're a lot quieter. And we've managed to find some that use silicon mounts as opposed to rivets, so they will sit a lot softer and cause less vibration, and hopefully the noisy CMI will come down a couple of decibels. But once those are done, which should be in the next couple of weeks, then we're pretty much good to go. We've just got to finish off the keyboard, the music keyboard, because that had succumbed probably the worst to the damp conditions that it'd been stored in. But we've managed to free up a lot of the keys and get those moving again, and we just need to replace a few more springs, and then it will be pretty much good to go, which will be sad because I've grown quite attached to the old girl. But we've got more. I've got a Series 2X in the garage that we've started work on, and we've got another Series 3 lined up to take the place of this one. So we'll be turning these around as quickly as we can.
Well, I'm glad to hear that someone is taking this technology and really innovative technology from its time and restoring it to working order. That's something that in today's world you don't see very often. Most people will take and a 3-year-old synthesizer, just chuck it in the garbage as they replace it, rather than take the time to store it and keep it for posterity's sake.
Absolutely. And I think there is a pretty large community of enthusiasts that will restore these old machines, not just Fairlights, but Synclaviers, emulators, Prophet 5s, all those big kind of classic synths. And it was it's sort of in the mid 80s that we started to get the more disposable stuff, and like you say, people would just happily toss something into the garbage and just get something new. And of course, nowadays we're in the world of software instruments, so really there's nothing to break, nothing to restore anymore. But the Fairlights are fairly unique in the world of vintage electronic instruments, in that they were so well built, because every single one was built by hand. Every single one is pretty much unique in its construction, and every single Fairlight that I have been fortunate enough to handle looks, in most cases, apart from maybe some of the surface stuff on the outside, inside looks like the day it came out of the factory in Rushcutters Bay. And it really is a testament to the quality, and it's why these things were so expensive back then.
Oh, absolutely. No, I totally understand where you're coming from there. And I think that Andrea's dog has a question for you. So let's go to Andrea and find out what she has to say. What can you translate for us there, Andrea? I'm not sure I understand
it. Sorry about that. Hold on.
I think her dog is taken with the whole Fairlight aspect of this idea.
Yeah, she wants to know how much they weigh.
Oh, the technical term is a shed load, but very, very heavy. I would say, I'm really not very good with weights, which is surprising for a man of my stature. But it takes 2 people to handle just the mainframe. You couldn't lift it on your own, although I have done once or twice, but I've regretted it since. It really is something very heavy, and everything is made out of solid. There are no alloys, there are no composites. It's kind of solid steel. Everything has its own sub-assembly, so it's all mounted on this big frame. That's a lot of the parts are kind of military grade hardware composition. In fact, the U.S. military bought a number of Fairlights for the exploration of sonic weaponry. So they are built to last. They really are.
Just goes to show you, we'll spend money on anything here in the States, including musical instruments, and that's not a bad thing. I'd rather see them do that than buy guns, as a matter of fact. So
absolutely, there's nothing wrong with the exploration of the brown note.
I agree. The brown note, I love it. You were saying, Ian?
I was finding it very hard to believe that you advocated musical instruments over guns, Rich, to be honest.
That's because I know a lot of musicians whose music can kill.
Or just can't shoot a gun.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm saying I couldn't shoot the broadside of a barn with a gun unless I was inside of it, and then my music can kill. So that's the way it is. I want to see this puppy dog. Andrea, show us your dog there.
There she is. This is the big mouth noisemaker.
No.
She just wanted to sit on your lap and be on the show.
She did.
That's okay. That's fine. All right. We do have some music for everybody to take a listen to today that we want to get to. So why don't we do that right now? So if everybody's ready, we're going to start the show with song number 1, as we always do. So here it is, everybody. This is song number 1 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Sit back, relax, and enjoy song number 1 on the show. Here it is. There you have it. That is song number one on the broadcast today. Of course, we go around the room, starting with Ian on song number one to find out what he thinks. Ian, what do you think of track number one?
Okay, yeah, a good start. I mean, there's a good song here, and there's some good performances going on, and there's a pretty good mix. But I think, from my point of view, this whole thing is a bit too safe. I like the girl's voice, but I didn't feel she was using it to its maximum capacity. I wanted to hear her sort of going for it. Someone in the chat room there said the Cranberries influence. You can kind of hear that in her voice, but without that sort of lilt and that push the girl from the Cranberries has got, I didn't feel this girl was coming across like that. From the point of view of her vocals, I wanted to hear her pushing more, doing more with her voice. My other real problem with it was the groove. The drums sounded fine. They were playing nicely. There's some nice little kick drums and that going on in there. But the bass was just plodding on the beat, constant. It wasn't grooving with the drums. And the bass was well mixed. It was quite prominent in the mix, which sort of gave it the drive it needed from the sound point of view. But I didn't feel the bass player was really sort of locking in with the rest of the band and hitting that groove properly. It was just solid dump, da da dump, da da dump, rather than sort of something a bit more flowing with the rest of the track. From a mix point of view, everything was sounding pretty nice. It does sound like a possible sort of home recording to me, a well done home recording or at that. But it does sound like a home recording. And things like sticking the lead guitar on the outro solidly to the left was just unbalanced that mix totally. You want the lead guitar sat in the middle where it's sort of going to be an even spread across your hearing. Whereas when it's sort of stuck in the left, it kind of just unbalanced the mix quite greatly. And with the backing vocals as well on the chorus, as nice as they were and as well performed as they were, the mix was off. And you had the one on the left, or sorry, the higher one on the right was higher in volume than the sort of lower one on the left. And again, that left the mix a bit unbalanced to my hearing. Yeah, I think you need to revisit this song. I think there's a good track. There's good movement from the verse into the chorus there. I like the little guitar solos, they worked, but I think you need to refine your mix a little bit. There was a lot going on. You had the synths and the pianos and the heavy guitars and the clean guitars and the drums and the bass and lots of layered vocals. And it was all there, but it was very safe. I think you can sort of take some time to put a bit more space in that mix and open it up a little bit and let things breathe. Like the piano didn't always cut through where it was playing a little run, which would work very nicely. It wasn't quite there. So revisit the mix, revisit the vocal performance, get more passion into that, and you've got a good song.
All right. Well, I appreciate your thoughts on that, Ian. Let's go over to Andrea, find out what she thinks of it. Andrea, your thoughts on track number one?
Yeah, there were things that I agreed with that Ian said and a couple that I didn't. I hear the Cranberries, too, influence in the lead vocalist, and that was perfectly fine. I think it's an interesting voice. It doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. It has character, and I liked it. The song itself, I agree with Ian that the arrangement of it is a little safe and a little bit kind of plodding. That's not necessarily a bad thing to me. I think it's a matter of taste and kind of what the direction of your band is going to be as you're deciding when you play together. But like I did find there kind of wasn't enough groove going on. And if that's what you're going for, that's totally cool. But it felt like there could be a little bit more musicality, a little bit more, like Ian's saying, a little bit more risk, a little bit more groove. So I would agree with that. I thought I always write vocals as VOX, so if I say that, you'll just know that's what I'm talking about. I thought the vocals were a little, and this is so rare that I can't even believe I'm saying it, that they were a little bit set apart from the mix. They were a little bit hot. They didn't feel like they were a part of the track as much to me. I like the tone on the solo guitar a lot better than the rhythm guitars. I thought the rhythm guitars sounded a little bit too crisp, a little bit too high end. It didn't seem to have a lot of chunk in them. And of course, like Ian was saying, if this is a home recording, it's so hard to get those guitars to get the right tone sometimes, because if you're recording at lower levels or you're using any digital equipment at all, you tend to lose some of that character on the guitar. So I heard that a little bit. The final solos, I don't mind, like Ian does, that they're set in left and right. I thought there was a kind of a simple logic about that one starts and the other one comes in and creates a harmony with it. But I found them just really super hot. Like all of a sudden they came in and you're like, bam, oh, those are really in your face. And so I would try to, the mix overall to me, there's a lot going on, and you really hear certain elements of it very, very present. The bass very present, the vocals very present, those lead guitars very present. But there's something about it that isn't kind of joining together. And so maybe there's some work to be done on who's occupying what piece of the spectrum, and whether there's some competing frequencies that are happening at the same time. And that's always the hardest part about a mix that has a lot going on and a lot of layering, right? Finding a place for all the different voices. But, overall, I like the song. I thought it was great. It was catchy. It sounds to me like, it has a little bit of retro influence from the 80s, the 90s. And, but overall, a really good song, and, decent recording with some tweaks could really be there.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Andrea. Thank you. Over to the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who works on one of my favorite synths. Yeah, I'm just buttering you up, aren't I?
Well, you're doing a good job.
Rob Puricelli. Rob, track number 1 over to you. What do you think about it?
As a song, really liked it. I thought it was a really good song, good composition. I like the structure. So I don't have any real issues with the songwriting at all. I always am amazed how much Ian and I agree on a lot of things. And as I read through my notes, I'm thinking, this guy can see what I'm writing.
I'm copying
pretty
you.
much the same as, yeah. I thought that the mix was a good balanced mix. So stuff was there, and I wasn't searching to hear more of something. I think everything was very well balanced. But I agree that the lead vocal, the lady's got a great voice, but it was just kind of a tad dry. That it needed something to make it come alive, and whether that was the performance that needs to improve or to change, as Ian says, or whether that's just maybe some treatment that can be to be put on that lead vocal track, just to make it stand out a bit more. It just felt kind of dry and dead center, and I needed a bit more space and a bit more excitement on that. I like the use of the panning throughout the song, and in particular at the beginning with the guitars. Things were coming in at the left, and then they were coming into the right, and I like that. But towards the end, when it did that, as Ian said again, that kind of lead thing going over to, I forget which side it was, but it was one side in particular. It felt a bit, it felt a little bit odd. And so it was okay at the beginning, but maybe not so much at the end. And I absolutely, I just, one of the first things I put down here was plodding bass, and it was very dum 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 dum, and I was just oh please man, just go, just put a flourish in there. It doesn't have to be too much, just put some kind of flourish, get a bit of a riff going, and maybe again the kick drum was fairly consistent. So it might be the way it's recorded. I don't know how many people there are in this outfit, whether there is a live drummer and a live bassist, and whether they can work together to get some more of a thing going with the groove. But yeah, the bass was pedestrian, I think is the term I would use. Not bad, but could just do with something going on. Other than that, I thought it was a thoroughly good song, a good mix with that could do with some improvements in the things that I've just said, but a very good attempt. I was impressed.
All right. Well, good enough. I appreciate that. Thank you. And naming that track, the name of the track is called Shadows in the Dark, and it's by a group called El Dude. Now, I think El Dude is the one who submitted it. I'm not sure if that's the name of the group, but anyway, that was the name of the submitter. El Dude, we appreciate you sending that song in to Music Scene Investigation. All right, I've got two more tracks to take a listen to. Want to hear them now, or at least one at a time. So the second one's coming up. Track number 2 on today's broadcast, everybody. Take a listen to it. We'll be right back to find out what our panelists think. Here it is, track number 2 on today's broadcast.
Blurring days together, one sip at a time. We drove north to the woods and took a walk outside, getting lost to free our minds. Listen to the quiet, hear the heartbeat of the pines. Let the sun kiss away the path, let the wind run through our hair. Tell our souls don't give in to fear, leave no trace, leave no trace of being here. Tension nearly drowned us, one day at a time. Filled our hands with regret and my bed with cries, losing breath with every lie. Listen to the quiet, hear the heartbeat of the pines. Let the sun kiss away the past, let the wind run through our hair. Tell our souls don't give in to fear, leave no trace. We've taken this trail as far as it can go. Let the sun kiss away the pale, let the wind run through our hair. Tell our souls don't give in to fear, leave no trace, leave no trace, leave no trace of being here.
That is song number 2 on the broadcast today. We'll go over to Andrea Bensmiller first. Andrea, what do you think about track number 2?
Oh, wow. This track is stunning. It was beautiful. From start to finish, it was beautiful. I'm guessing that this is a singer-songwriter, probably doing her own stuff. Maybe she's got a band, or maybe this was professionally produced by somebody for her album. But I mean, it was gorgeous. She's got a gorgeous voice. Her control is perfect. The guitar was so clean and so beautifully recorded for an acoustic. Just really, really balanced across the board. There were such great details in the development of the arrangement. There was a backward sound on a stop at the second verse that was just, it was one of those little things that's like just so perfectly placed and made you kind of stop and go, wow, yeah, that's exactly what production is about. The backing vocals were so beautiful, perfectly balanced. I think it was a guy behind her. to kind of lend that little bit of, range difference. And it was really well executed, beautifully sung, and very well placed in the mix. The bridge was interesting. It didn't strike me as being a really strong, traditionally different piece of the song. It was just kind of a moment where they took a second to chill out a little bit, change the dynamics a little bit, and that worked. It wasn't a horribly strong idea for a bridge, but it did work in terms of the production, which I liked. The lyrics are great. I mean, what a great song. Just really well crafted. I love the "Leave no trace" line. It was perfectly sung. I don't really know. I mean, there's this kind of music is obviously not everybody's cup of tea, but I think it's really well done. A beautiful track. If this was part of somebody's album, I would definitely buy it. She's worth listening to, and I thought the song was great. So.
All right. I appreciate that, Andrea. Thank you. Over to Rob Puricelli. Rob, track number 2. What do you think about that one?
I loved it. From a composition perspective, it's a cracking song, and brilliantly performed. I loved her voice. There's very little I can think of to mention here, except that it ticks 4 boxes that I love to have ticked in music I like. So that is clarity, space, and dynamics. Those, I think, are massively important. And the 4th one is quirkiness. I like something that grabs me and says, "Oh, that's a little bit different." And as Andrea said, that little reverse effect of whatever it was just after the 2nd verse was the quirkiness that was in there. The clarity of everything was pristine. There was space in the mix. It wasn't too narrow. It was quite wide. I liked that a lot, and it was dynamic. So that the fluctuation between quiet and loud was superb. For me, that's what is missing in so much music today is dynamics. Everyone's trying to make their waveforms look like a tube of toothpaste, and that this is, you could tell straight away that this is up and down and all over the shop, and it keeps your ears really pinned in. I loved it. I really, really did love the dynamics. My only criticism, if you could call it that, was that I thought the backing vocals could just come up a little bit, because I felt, and I'm assuming that that's how the track was presented, and it's not just internet compression, but they just felt a little too low for my I would have liked them to have come up just a little bit, and the percussion as well. I think because it's, again, the percussion was very dynamic, and being a drummer myself, I tune into that straight away, and I like the brushes at the beginning, but it again could have just done with coming up a little bit. And as the song kind of built and we moved from brushed drums to proper stick drums, again, I thought that could just be, there could be a little bit more on the snare. The snare wasn't quite cutting through for me as much as I would like it to. Maybe that's because they wanted to, kind of keep them, not have them dominate the mix too much. But I think, the snare should just cut through nicely. So my only criticism was, a couple of levels, get the backing vox up a little bit, and just the drums and the percussion, just bring them a bit more there. But as far as everything else is concerned, it had, I love cinematic kind of mixes, where there's it sounds like the sound is almost surrounding you, and that had that about it. It had the space, and the dynamics were beautiful. So yeah, big thumbs up here.
All right. Well, thank you, Rob. Appreciate that. Over to Ian Husbands. Ian, what do you think about this particular track?
No, I didn't like it.
Okay.
Of course I did. Of course I did. Andrea and Rob there have used one word, both of them, and that word was beautiful. And I have to agree. It's a beautiful track. I I was sitting here listening to it. I mean, that little reverse in the stop into the second verse, as everyone else has commented on, just great, nice little bit of ear candy. No over the top production on this, except keeping it natural. I didn't mind that the drums were a little set back. It had that acoustic lead, and that acoustic was such a lovely piece of recording. Had a lovely tone, great performance. And then her voice was just hauntingly brilliant. I was sitting through the track thinking, I can't find anything negative to say about this, to be honest. And then came into that middle eight section, which I didn't mind the way it ebbed and flowed. I really did like that. But there was the stop where it was just down to the two vocals singing, with the lead vocal with the harmony vocal, and it sounded great. And then the rest of the band came in, and you heard the over compression of that track. Unfortunately, this track was a little hot for my liking, and you could hear it on the compression. As soon as them vocals were let to have some room to breathe, and all the instruments dropped out, they sounded beautiful. The rest of the band came in, you heard the track squash, and their vocals sort of disappear back as everything else came in. So from my point of view, that's my only real criticism of this. It was a tad hot. Back off that compression a little bit, back off the gain a touch, and give it a little bit more room to breathe. So you're not hearing that squashing coming in on that part of the track. But I mean, otherwise, that is a minor point. It's a beautiful track, good lyrics, good performances, great tone, brilliant production. I'm going to stick my neck out and say it's probably one of the best tracks we've had on MSI in its history.
All right, that says quite a lot. It's a big step to take when you're saying something like that. Well, let's find out who that song is by and the name of it. Name of the song is Leave No Trace by the Hillary Reynolds Band. We appreciate the band sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation. All right, we have one more track that we need to get to. We're running kind of low on time as things go, but we're going to go ahead and play it for you right now. Track number 3 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy, everybody. Here it is, track number 3.
Super swag, super swag, super swag, super swag, super swag. She got that super swag thing. Yeah, she got that super swag thing. Yeah, she got that super swag thing. She keep her hair done, she keep her nails done, and every day she flies super swag thing. She got that super swag thing. She got that super swag thing. She keep her hair done, she keep her nails done, and every day she fly. Yeah, this for all the bad who say super swag up every day, all year. I notice your mama, tip my hat to your mama. It ain't easy being a diva, watching out for the drama. Look like you got it down pat, cause your show ain't lacking cutie. Body banging like Crips and blood, the mama stay on your duty. You the type I've been praying for, all the rest of them ain't on nothing. Got a handout for a handout, far from independent, they stuntin'. You work hard, so you play hard. You're bad, and I thank God. You can talk all the shit you want, cause when you walk by, you looking like, oh Lord. It don't stop right there, you a natural. Take it to the thoroughbred, cause you broke the mold. Got your own whip, own money, own crib. How you got it like that, Lord? She got that super swag thing. Yeah, she got that super swag thing. Yeah, she got that super swag thing. She keep her hair done, she keep her nails done, and every day she flies super swag thing. She got that super swag thing. She got that super swag thing. She keep her hair done, she keep her nails done, and every day she flies. She always in the hair shop, every week it don't stop. Plus she at the mall every day, like she got her own shop. Fingernails stay on point, colors match her shoes and purse. Whenever the hottest shit come out, shorty got it on first. She a trendsetter like a trendsetter, freak in the dark in the park, she mellow. Ain't tight like D-Roll, New York State of mind like Carmelo. Who is she? Where they do that at? Been a long time since swag like that. She would talk about P, charge the fee, set the game up so naturally. Flex the juice when she got loose, brought every bit of that money to me. I salute you, mama, now you check your comments, you deserve to have your own bag. They screaming all shit, ain't that a bitch? That's what you got her, that's what you got her swag. She got that super swag.
Santa. She keep her nails done, and every day she fly. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
All right, that is song number 3 on the broadcast today. We're going to go straight to Rob Puricelli to find out what he thinks about it. Rob, track number 3 over to you. What do you think about that one?
I'm still bobbing my head. I really like that a lot. Not my cup of tea musically. I mean, I will listen to stuff like that. I'm a big hip hop fan. I like a lot of that kind of stuff. I thought the mix was very good. I thought it was very balanced. You could hear everything nice and clearly. I liked the simplicity. I really like the fact that they didn't go over the top with the kick and the sub bass. It was there. It was booming, but it wasn't too much. I really thought that they'd done quite a good job of getting the balance of everything right. Lyrically, I'm a 40-something white guy from the country of England, so I'm really probably not the best person to critique the lyrics or the delivery of this kind of thing. But hey, it got me hooked. I kind of found myself being interested in this little story they were telling. I liked it. My only real criticism is that the thing could have done with some deviation, just something to go off and then come back again. It just seemed to be very repetitive. And I know that can be pretty much how a lot of current hip hop is. It's just the same old thing, just, a few patterns glued together in whatever they're using and just, rap on top of that. So it could have done with a little bit, just something to pique one's interest, says the rather posh white boy here. But yeah, other than that, I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I was sat here and involuntarily bopping up and down and enjoying it, and it wasn't displeasing in any way really at all. I enjoyed it. Very good.
All right, Rob, I appreciate that. Thank you. Over to Ian Husbands. Ian, track number 3. Your thoughts?
I reckon Rob was twerking at his desk. just
you were
guessing.
Watching secretly, weren't you?
Sounds like you nicked my notes on this one, mate. To be honest, agree with the sub on the bass was just really nice, just tasteful. Normally it rattles your headphones, but the bass on this was sat really nicely. I thought the rapping was tight. I thought what they were doing. It was the vocal was quite prominent in the mix, but again, I find that tends to be the case with this sort of genre of music, and so I don't have a problem with that from that point of view. I did find lyrically it got a bit repetitive. I gather they got the super swag or something, and I was told that a lot. Again, working class white boy in England, not really my bag from that point of view, but it is well done. Few things that did throw my ears out though. To start with was those MIDI horns. They sounded like they were an out of the box sound from GarageBand or something like that. And there was some really nice horn riffs going on behind the vocals sort of at one point in time. I thought, I wish they were higher. Actually, no, I don't wish they were higher. I'm glad they buried them in the mix because they don't sound like horns. I did find that the sonic palette that they used was a bit of an out of the box sound thing. I would like to, I think so, Mike Senior, twist some knobs occasionally. Tune that sound, make that sound your own. I did find it was all a bit generic from the sonic sort of palette sort of way. But yeah, glad it wasn't as long as it could have been because it was getting a bit repetitive. But it was tight. It was, there's some really good parts of the mix. There's some poor parts of the mix as well. Go back, look at that production. Sample a real horn. Get a real horn player in and get them recording, playing them riffs, and then loop them and use them, rather than going for the sort of MIDI sounds. If your music's worth doing, it's worth doing properly. So if you can find a horn player, even someone online on YouTube or one of these file sharing sites like iCompositions or Compose, there's loads of people willing to record you the parts and send you it as an MP3 or an AIF file or something like that you can then drop into your mix and you have a collaboration going on. I'd much prefer to hear that than I would these MIDI horns in this track. But otherwise, a good track.
All right, Ian. Thank you. Over to Andrea. Andrea, your thoughts on track number 3 as we wrap everything up here. What do you think?
I loved it. I thought it was a great track. Unlike the guys, this is totally up my alley, and it was authentic. It was great. The rapping was just totally there. This guy is obviously not a singer, but it's that kind of character singing that goes perfectly well with rap. And you hear a lot of now. I could totally hear this on the radio. In fact, if I heard it, today in my car, it would seem completely like, that's where it should be. I love the groove. Great, really great groove. Like the guys said, the sub was just perfect, really well balanced, nice round sound. And I agree with Ian. The single, to me, weakness in this track is those not so great crap or kind of crappy synth sounds. I didn't want to say crappy originally. I was going to say something else, but they are a little bit crappy. I did. Sorry. They are a little bit crappy. They're like, especially that horn line that you hear over and over and over again, the primary riff one. It gets a little bit irksome after a while because it's not a great sound, and it also has this edge on it that just after a while you're just like, I'm trying to listen to other things, and you don't ever want a synth sound to make somebody feel like that. There were a couple other better sounds that got kind of layered in as the track went on, but they kind of got mushed out of the spectrum, and that is kind of tells you what the sound is about. If you kind of have to really work hard to make them fit into the track or layer nicely together, it's usually a sign that those sounds are just not a great choice. So that would be the one thing I would probably redo about this track. Everything else I thought was really awesome. Nice, super cool, catchy idea. I love the whole super swag thing. It's a killer idea. It's a great little melody to go with that. So really great track. Fix the synths. That's the only thing I would say.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Andrea. Thank you. The name of this song, for everybody's information, the song is called, obviously, Super Swag Thing or Swag Thing or Super Swag, whatever you want. It's Super Swag. It says right there on the screen. Just read it, right? All right. Macadocious 511 is the artist behind that track. We appreciate their sending that track in. All right, we have one final task that needs to be handled, and that means we're going to send our panelists to select a song of the week. That song of the week will go on to compete in our hit list broadcast, which happens for November. It's going to happen here next Wednesday, but not this next Wednesday, the Wednesday after. But for this group of Song of the Weeks, it's actually going to happen in January. So our Songs of the Weeks for November, the hit list will take place in January. But anyway, we want to remind you to check out the hit list on the second Wednesday of the month. That's where our Songs of the Week will compete against each other for, prize packages, prize from Landar.com. It's a mastering package, mastering made easy at Landar.com. Drag and drop your music to get it mastered through their algorithms. You can select different settings and make it happen the way you want. If you want to try it for free, click on the Landar icon and banner beneath the live page on musicsceneinvestigation.com, and you can try it for free. For our Song of the Week winner, for our hit list winners, they get a 1-year pro account over at Landar.com. They can master as many songs as they want in uncompressed WAV files and or MP3 compressed at 192 kilobits. And they have that for a full year. Trying it free for you will get you 2 free uncompressed WAV files and as many compressed MP3s as you want for a year as well. So give it a shot. See if it might work for your music. Now I'm going to turn things over to our panel as they discuss and decide on a song of the week out of the 3 they just heard. I leave it up to you guys. What do you think?
Well, I think ladies first, so over to you, Rob.
Over to you, Andrea.
I'm going to go with number 2. I'm going to go with the, I think it was Hillary Reynolds Band. Is that what it was?
Indeed it was.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's no problems with that track, and it was so well done. But we keep saying every show, this gets harder and harder every show. You know, we always have 2 that are really kind of neck and neck, but that track really to me was just, it was stunning. It was so beautifully done, and the song itself also one of those compositions that's like, wow, it's a killer song. So I'm going to go with number 2.
All right. Rob, Ian, your thoughts, guys?
I can't argue with that.
Ian.
You better go first then, Rob.
No, after you.
Well, I stuck my neck out on song 2 and said that it's probably one of the best tracks we've heard on MSI. And I still abide by that. Number 3 was good, but number 2 was better, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm with Andrew on this. Number 2, please.
All right. And Rob, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm consistently impressed every time you guys have me on here, the quality of the music that gets submitted. And I think, why am I not hearing more of this stuff on the radio, or, why is this stuff not being pushed to my social media feeds more often? There's just so much good stuff, and it's a tough choice. But as ever, there is one standout track, and it is track number 2, the Hillary Reynolds Band. It just was exquisite in virtually every single way. And that's not to say that tracks 1 and 3 were unworthy in any shape or form. They were both very good songs. They could do with a little bit more work, but track number 2 really just stood head and shoulders above everything else. So, yep, 2 from me.
All right. Well, it is unanimous then. Track number 2, our song of the week, the Hillary Reynolds Band and Leave No Trace. Rob, thank you for being with us on this week's broadcast. Really appreciate you taking the time away from the Fairlight.
Always a pleasure, never a chore. Thank you for having me. And hopefully, if you guys are going to be having a break over December, the next time you have me back, this baby will be singing and dancing, and I'll be able to give you that long-awaited demonstration.
Yeah, I remember the first demonstration was kind of interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to a second one. That'll be awesome.
We got a sound out of it.
Fingers crossed.
We did. It went kind of like, ee! And that was pretty much it, I think,
Kaboom!
Yeah, Andrea, Ian, thank you. As always, everybody in the audience, thank you for being here as well. Oh, by the way, Rob, Pinky says, listen to MSI Radio 24/7. All this music that goes through the labs is busting out over there all the time. So,
and if you do want more music, put your social networks. Check out MSI Labs on Twitter and MSI Music Scene Investigation on Facebook. And you'll find us on Google Plus as well, and YouTube, and all the other things. So subscribe, follow, friend, stalk, whatever it is you need to do to get the information.
Yeah, rate us on YouTube and let us know what you think about us on iTunes as well. It'll help us get out more to everybody else if they put us on the front pages and all that crap. So I personally don't care. I just want everybody to hear this good music. So that's where it's at. All right, we're going to play out with the Hillary Reynolds Band, Leave No Trace right now, as we say so long, and we'll see you next week right here on Music Scene Investigation. Thanks for being here, everyone. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Blurring days together, one sip at a time. We drove north to the woods and took a walk outside, getting lost to free our minds. Listen to the quiet, hear the heartbeat of the pines. Let the sun kiss away my bed with